On Thursday night, I noticed that our washing machine, I was about to go to sleep, and the washing machine was making some really, really strange clanging, clanging, loud noises. I was thinking it's funny because I never noticed the washing machine, we've had it for 5 years, making such weird noises. And it turns out it wasn't that I'd never noticed it before. It was that it never happened before. These are new noises, a sign of a washing machine going downhill and about to be broken. So basically, our washing machine is as of right now, it's not functioning, and I guess it's like always this way that like you don't really notice what you have until you don't have it anymore. So right now I've just been thinking about, so basically I called this morning, Sunday morning, to the place, and of course our warranty ended last month. Isn't that always the way? So and the repairman can't come until Tuesday, which is 2 long days from now. So I tried to beg to the lady, whatever. But it looks like really the repairman's coming 2 days from now on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday morning. So it got me thinking about laundry. And I remembered I was reading, I read a while back, Rebitz and Heller was writing something about what it used to be like to do laundry. So like now, of course, doing laundry, like we think it's like doing laundry, it's hard, but what do we do now? Okay, so you get the soap, you put in the thing, and you press a button. That is basically the laundry process. And after it's done, most of us move it into the dryer, so take it out, put it away. And nothing is not hard, but I thought it'd be interesting. Like I found it, so basically I remember at the time Rebitz and Heller wrote out all what it used to be like to do laundry before their washing machines. And I found it really, really interesting and eye-opening. It gave me a bit of perspective about my own, like, about my own amount of, like, a relatively small amount of time that I have to spend on domestic things. Even though it feels like a lot of time that I'm spending cleaning and doing the dishes and doing the laundry and doing all the things I have to do in the house, but the truth is relative to what women used to have to do. The amount of time that we have to spend on that kind of stuff is really, really quite infinitesimal. So I wanted to just read. I just printed out something really interesting. From about.com. It's written by Mary Marlowe Leverett. And my edit, I shortened it a little bit, but it's about how women used to do laundry before the days of electricity and washing machines. How did women used to do their laundry? Okay, so she writes. Before the days of electricity and the evolution of washing machines, laundry was a back-breaking, difficult task. It took several days, Jewish mom, of hot, heavy work to clean clothes and linens. Laundry was one of the hardest jobs in the household. Doing laundry was at best a 3 to 4 day process for each load of clothes, involving 8 steps. Okay, these are the 8 steps of doing laundry. Okay, now just think, like, what's your first step? Okay, put in the soap. Second step, press the button. Okay, they didn't have any button to press. This is what they had to do. First step, mending by hand. Before washing, every garment had to be inspected for holes or rips, as washing could make the problems much worse. As with clothing construction, all mending and patching was done by hand, by the Jewish mom. Okay. Step 2, pre-soaking and stain removal. Clothes were soaked in warm water, usually for 1 day. Now just think about it, but where's the water coming from? They had to like draw the water from a well. They had to build a fire, heat up the water. Like first with warm water, we just press a button or whatever. But they had to, like, even just getting this warm water was a whole process. Clothes were soaked in warm water, usually for 1 day. During this time, stains like blood, grease, and food were treated with homemade, like, stain removals. Even making all the stain removal kind of stuff was a whole process unto itself. 3, washing and scrubbing in hot water. The next day, okay, we're on to day number 2. Fresh water was heated to a temperature as hot as the woman could bear to put her hands into, either over an open fire or on the cooktop. The clothes were turned inside out, and lye soap was applied to the clothes. Once again, they made the lye soap. They're going to explain at the end the whole process of making lye soap. It was a whole complicated thing. Next was the hardest step, scrubbing the clothes on a washboard. The rubbing with the washboard. Each piece of laundry was scrubbed until it was deemed as clean as possible. The woman would then wring out the soapy water and set the pieces aside. Okay, we're on to step 4, boiling and rinsing. After each piece of laundry was scrubbed, water was heated again. So we have more water. They had to go get more water, had to heat up that water on the fire. More water was heated to boiling, and the clothes were boiled to kill critters, lice. The clothes had to be removed with a laundry stick. They were then rinsed in cool water to remove any traces of the lye soap. 5. Bluing of white items. This is sort of a bit, I found this a bit mysterious. I didn't really understand what this means. Okay. Lye soap and impurities in the water left white clothes looking very dingy and yellow. To help whiten clothes, like to make them really bright white, powders or blocks made from indigo or Prussian blue pigments were tied into several pieces of cloth. The cloth was then dipped in the water to turn it sky blue. I don't really know what that means, but it sounds like it was quite a bit of work. Okay. Step 6, drying. Drying. Okay, how do we dry? You put in the dryer, you press the button. Okay? What do they do? Drying. Drying was done, of course, outside in the sunshine or inside by the fire. Some were lucky enough to use a rope as a clothesline, but many clothes were just spread on the clean grass or bushes to dry. A good laundry woman knew to roll the clothes into a light roll while they were still slightly damp to make ironing easier. Step 7, ironing. Ironing was done by heating heavy forged iron irons and pressing them down on the fabric. The irons had no temperature control and the handles were not insulated. As the iron lost heat, it had to be reheated to continue the task, right? So then they have to stop, heat it up again, put it back. The lucky woman had at least 2 irons to complete the task, right? That's the lucky woman. She had 2 of these irons to, to reheat and do it. If the woman did not have a cook stove, she heated the iron in a clean frying pan to set on the fire grate. This would keep the bottom clean and free from ashes that would stain the clothes. 8. Folding. All the clothes were folded to store in a trunk or box to prevent them from getting dirty from dust and dirt. There were no hangers and no closets to protect clothes. Right? They just had to fold everything really, really nicely so that it wouldn't get all wrinkled. The basic equipment needed for laundry. Listen to this. So our basic equipment for laundry, like we have like our plastic, laundry basket, and we have the washing machine, and we have the dryer. What do they have? The basic equipment needed for laundry were 2 25-gallon oak tubs, each weighed about 35 pounds when empty, buckets, iron cauldrons for heating the water over the fire grates, scrub boards, homemade soup, bluing, ropes for clotheslines, irons, and sewing supplies. After the work was finished, the tools had to be cared for and kept in good shape. Replacements were hard to acquire. And then there's a whole another few paragraphs of all of the hard labor women had to do in order to keep all of these, all this list of equipment to keep them in good shape, because it was very hard to get replacements, and if the tubs would get dried out, then they would like split open and blah, blah, blah. It was a whole complicated thing. Even just taking care of the laundry equipment. And each year, the woman had to make her own soap. How do you get the soap? You go to your grocery store and you buy like your thing of Tide. No. What did they have to do? Each year, the woman had to make her own soap by rendering animal fat and adding lye. Soap making was a day-long process of stirring the soap while it cooked over an open fire. Our large pot of soap would usually last for a year, but some families had to make soap twice per year. Most made it in the fall after the animals were butchered. Sounds a little bit more complicated than what we do, right? For women who lived in settled areas with a larger population, laundry was a social time when they could visit with each other. For most, it was solitary, back-breaking work. So, I just want to say I'm really looking forward to having my washing machine back. I don't plan on doing all of these things, doing our laundry by hand, but I thought it'd be nice to give, so I just want to bless all of us, so we should have a bit of perspective. We spend a lot of time, I don't mean to minimize like what we do. We do a lot of work, and I work very hard, and I'm like cleaning and doing what I have to do, and doing laundry, and doing all the things that I have to do. But we should have perspective and just remember what women used to do, how hard it used to be for like our foremothers, and I hope that this bit of perspective, remembering what our foremothers had to do, will make what we have to do feel a bit lighter and more joyous. I'm going to bless all of you Jewish moms with an amazing, amazing week.